So I got sick, and getting sick. That's just a normal. I mean, I know nowadays, like, COVID, you gotta be careful, but still, it's just this everyday occurrence. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I had to not make a video for like a week because my voice was all still put out. If you hear, it's kind of still is, but come on, let me through the gate. But it really wasn't all that bad. It wasn't all that bad. Well, in some cases. Because it wasn't just this out of nowhere illness. No, there is a cause to it. There is a cause to it. And boy, did that get interesting. So, I'm on the cross country team, and obviously I'm not like the only person on the team. There are other people on the team with me, and so one of our one of our most consistent runners is a person I'm very much friends with. So suddenly, out of nowhere, it's a normal school day, and he's just the one class that we share. He's not in. Now, like I said, he's a very consistent person. He isn't the guy to just randomly skip class out of nowhere. So his absence here is kind of concerning. But I'm like, maybe he had some sort of appointment, those daily sort of things.
Everybody still loves
Until
me, right?
the next day, when, oh, hi! You suck. Okay. Until the next day, when he doesn't show up again. So I'm like, okay. He's got something. He's got some sort of illness. And I'm like, I don't want to assume the worst. So I'm just gonna, be like, oh, he'll show up tomorrow. I'm like, okay. Let's just hope he shows up tomorrow. He doesn't. I went the wrong way. Okay. But it gets all the way to our meet for that week, and he's still out of commission. And he does actually show up to that meet, but he distances himself because he is clearly very, like, I could even see it on his face. He was clearly very, very sick. Days after the meet. It would be a normal day. Except I woke up that day. And as soon as I got to school, I started getting this headache. Like, not like your, average everyday headache. Like, oh, you might get it every once in a while. No. This almost put me out of commission for the whole day. Like, I barely did anything in most of my classes except for, like, sleep. So I was like, okay, I don't want to say this is what it probably is, because I don't want to have to deal with that. And so I just pushed through it. I made it through the day, and I went to bed, and I'm like, okay, hopefully I'll just sleep it off. Suffice to say, I did not sleep it off. In fact, the next day it came back worse. Because the next day, not only did I have the headache, my chest hurt, I was coughing everywhere, I was sick. And I also learned that day, either the first day or second day of my illness, there had already been 2 other people on my team who were getting sick. So it was pretty clear that even through his best efforts, we still had what my teammate had. So this was not good because we were in the middle of our meet season. So, it's really not good when you have a lot of your runners sick. But most people got over it in a weekend. That is not how it ended up going for me. Now, when that second day where I was very sick, my parents were like, okay, let's do everything. We didn't do chicken noodle soup, we did ramen because I don't agree. My body does not agree with chicken noodle soup. But we did ramen, I drank the broth, tea and honey, all those sorts of things. I recovered mostly. The big thing was no headache. That was great. I could actually like think in school now. You know, not be tired the whole day. But my throat still wasn't in great condition, and you want to know what's really important for a sport with arduous exercise? Breathing. Guess what I couldn't do as well? Breathe, because my lungs, I felt like just pressured and congested, and it was awful. But that's all old news. That's all old news. Now let's on to something that had happened today. So last night, I left my water bottle at work. Now this, this is like the tiniest inconvenience you could ever imagine. I could just use a different water bottle. Is what you think. But no. No. This water bottle is special. Because it's big. That's the only reason it's special. It's just really big. It's also a filtered water bottle. So if I can put like tap water in it, and I can pretend like I'm not drinking tap water, because the filter does nothing. But, so to solve this minor inconvenience, I decided I would spend all the gas money to drive up to my work after school to go and grab it. So, it's after school, after practice. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go drive up there. But first, I'm like, okay, I need gas. Because I don't want to, like, go to my work and then run out of gas and be stuck in my work and have to call my parents. That would be embarrassing and a long process. Okay, I wasn't that low on gas, but you got to be cautious, man. That's just, I want to avoid that situation entirely. So I go to a local gas station. I get some gas. I get some snacks. I love this game's pathfinding. Please don't scan me. Okay. So I do that, and then just by instinct, I start driving, and I start driving home, having completely forgotten about my original goal. I'm like, a water bottle that I love and enjoy? Never heard of it. Never heard of it. So I literally get all the way home. I'm about to park, and I think, oh, yeah, water bottle. That's something I was gonna do. So now I'm all the way back home, and I have to turn around after already having made a stop at the gas station and go to my work, walk in, grab my water bottle. There's no problems with that, thankfully, other than just like I didn't have my work ID on me, so I had to pray that front desk didn't just like deny me right there. But that's irrelevant. I walk out, I go back in my car, I drive back home. When I go inside the house, my dad comes to me with the most terrifying sentence of, "We need to talk." And I'm like, oh God, what's about to happen? And he asked me why he saw me pull in, or almost fully pull in, and then immediately pull out and leave. And I'm like, oh, I was so stressed. And I'm like, yeah, obviously I told him, hey, I need to go to my work. And he was chuckling the whole time. I never died during the Monty fight. I've died more to this than I did to the Monty fight. How did I do this?